Hey all, how are you? Welcome back. Jackson M. Haskell here. So the video coming after is on May 15th. We have a Let's Talk Horror. We're talking about The Mad Magician, which is really cool. I'm really excited for that. And I've had this video coming on the 14th, but I'm filming it right now. We're talking about 1980s Twilight Zone Season 2 overview. I'm pleased to announce that Season 3, Part 1 will be on May 25th, which is great. And here we go. Season 2 consists of 11 episodes and ran from September 27, 86 to July 17, 87 on CBS. Here we go. First episode, we have a two-parter, which is great. The Once in the Future King, directed by Jim McBride. Stories by George Martano, tales by George R.R. Martin. September 27th, 86. Elvis impersonator Gary Pickens, played by Jeff Yeager. Travels back in time to meet the real Elvis Presley. Jim McBride, I don't recognize. But George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones, is what we know him from. Or I know him from, personally. And A Saucer of Loneliness, directed by John Hancock, who we saw in the first season as a director. Based on a short story by Theodore Sturgeon, which is cool. He helped write multiple novels and several scripts for a Star Trek animated series, and David Gerrold did a screenplay, and he worked on Trouble with Tribbles episode of Star Trek. September 27th, 86 also. Only Waitress Margaret, played by Shelley Duvall, encounters a mysterious saucer, but messages only for her. Mrs. Duvall, we know from Shining. She plays the mom, which is cool. Next up, we have What Are Friends For, directed by Gus Chaconis, written by Michael Straczynski. October 4th, 86. A Child, played by Fred Savage. Imaginary Friend, played by Lucas Haas. Turns out to be his father's imaginary friend as well. Also stars Tom Skerritt, which is cool. Gus Chaconis, I don't recognize. Michael Straczynski, Babylon 5 as a creator, which is cool. So, Mr. Fred Savage, The Wonder Years, where he played Kevin Arnold, which is cool. We also have Lucas Haas. Mars Attack, Lady White Witness, Revenant, First Man, Inception. But Tom Skerritt is a name I recognize big time. He was in MASH as Duke Forrest, but I'm pretty sure this guy I know from another movie franchise. Alien, where he plays Captain Dallas. He was also in Poltergeist 3, which is cool. I was thinking of a movie, but he's not in it. But yeah. We also have Aquavita, directed by Paul Tucker, who was on the first season. Jeremy Bertrand Finch and Paul Chillick were the writers. October 4th, 86 also. Christine, played by Mimi Kennedy, and aging news actor Fonzie Method for Youth as Steve Price. Also stars Christopher McDonald, which is cool. Mimi Kennedy, Ruth Sloan on Homefront, which is cool. And also Christopher McDonald, I don't recognize him. There's a lot of actors I won't recognize, sadly. Storyteller, directed by Paul Lynch, who we saw in the first season. Written by Rock Neopian, who we also saw in the first season. October 11th, 86. Young teacher Dorothy Livingston, played by Glenn O'Connor, finds a secret to immortality, resolving in stones. Also stars David Faustino. Married with Children, where he played Bud Bundy. Also Mako on Legends of Korra. And Hella on Winx Club. And Glennis O'Connell, she was on the show Jeremy. She was in the movie Jeremy. Our Town, Sons and Daughters, which is cool. We also have Night Song, directed by Bradford May, written by Michael Reeves. Michael Reeves Worked on Gargoyles and Batman anime series, which is cool. October 11th, 86. DJ Andrea Fields, played by Lisa Fallbacker, who played Jeanette Summers on Beverly Hills Cops film, must cope with the return of her lover after a 5-year disappearance. Okay, we're at episode 4, so we're not almost tiny, but almost there. This is a 3-parter, which is cool. After Hours, directed by Bruce Melmoth, based on a story and teleplayed by Rod Sterling, written by teleplayed by Rockneil Bannon, October 18th, 86. In a remake of the 1960s Twilight Zone episode, a woman played by Terry Farrell is trapped in a mall after hours full of living mannequins, all stars, and Wedgeworth, which is cool. Terry Farrell was on Deep Space Nine, Jadzia, Dax, and Reggie's and Becker. Regina, Costas, Reggie, and Becker, which is cool. And Wentworth, Three's Company, she played Lena Shields, she played Hilda Hensley on Sweet Dreams, which is cool. Lost and Found, directed by Josh Chaconis, based on a short story by Phyllis Einstein, which is cool. October 18th, 86. A student played by Kusa Osia possesses mysterious humanity. She was in the color purple as Nettie Harris, which is cool. Also, daughter of former Ghanaian Prime Minister. World Next Door, directed by Paul Lynch, written by Lan Okun, October 15th, 86. A door in the basement leads to a parallel world, and a man's counterparts find the grass greener on the other side. Stars George Wendt and Jeffrey Bernadette Beckett and Jeffrey Tambor. We started Jeffrey Tambor earlier in the season, in season 1, but George Wendt plays Norm on Cheers, which is cool. Next up, The Toys of Caliban, directed by Thomas J. Wright, written by stories by Terry Matz and teleplays by George R.R. Martin, December 4th, 1980. Thomas Wright. One Tree Hill, Smallville, Firefly he worked on, which is cool. A mentally handicapped child, played by David Greenlee. The White on Theme, Mouse and Beauty and the Beast. The Mouse and Beauty and the Beast. Has immense changes powers, which the parents struggle to prevent his misusing. Also stars Richard Mulligan, Soap and Emptiness, which is cool, and Anne Haney. Miss Sellner and Mrs. Doubtfire and Miss Chapel and American President and Greta and Liar Liar. This is Convict's Piano, directed by Thomas J. Wright again. Stories by James Crocker, who we saw in the first season. Teleplays by Patrice Messina. December 11th, 86. A strongly committed prisoner, played by Joe Penny. The girl is an old piano in prison with special powers. Also stars Norman Fell. He was in Three's Company as Mr. Rogers, the landlord. Roper, sorry, the landlord. Which is Ocean's 11. Then Joe Penny, Jake and the Fat Man. He was in as Jake Stiles. He was also Nick Ryder in Riptide, which was a TV show. Okay, next up, we have Road Less Traveled, which is great. Almost halfway there. Road Less Traveled, directed by Wes Craven, or R. Martin wrote it. December 18th, 86. A draft dodger, played by Cliff DeYoung, is haunted by the specter of a familiar-looking man in a wheelchair. Cliff DeYoung, I don't recognize. Number 8. Bradford May, directed by Michael Cassetti. It's The Card, February 21st, 87. A woman, Susan Blakely, well, control spending habits, finds her new credit card, comes with unexpected penalties. All stars William Atherton, who we saw in the first season. We know him from Ghostbusters. Susan Blakely. Rich Man, Poor Man, as the leading role in a miniseries, which is cool. Michael Kessel, I don't recognize. Junction, played, directed by Bill Duke. I don't recognize a lot. a lot of Black American stuff. Virginia Eldridge wrote it, February 21st, 87. A miner, played by William Allen Young, who has been cheating on his wife, is trapped in a cave. Miner from 1912, played by Chris Mulkey. William Allen Young, he was in Soldier Story and District 9, which is cool. This is the last part. No, we have a couple more, sorry. Okay, we're almost there. Joyride, directed by Gil Beckman, written by Cat Willingham, May 21st, 87, which is cool. 14th, played by Rod Hilbert, Brick McCarty, Heidi Kozak, and Tamara Mark. Take a recently deceased man's classic car for a joyride. A driver acts increasingly irrational during a drive. Nepper, teabag on Prison Break. Brooke McCarty, she was Paul. Oh, sorry, he's Paul in The Lost Boys, which you covered last year. Heidi Kozak, we know her from Slumber Party Massacre 2, Friday the 13th, number 7, New Blood and Society. I hope to cover Society. And we covered the films for the Friday series last year, reboot. And Tamara Mark, I don't recognize. Private Channel is next, directed by Peter Medic. We started the first season, written by Edward Ridlick, which is cool. With all the Tracy worked on. Also, Shark, starring James Woods, which is cool. May 21st, 87, after accidentally dropping his portable stereo in airplane lavatory, a young man, played by Scott Coffey, discovers it allows him to hear other people's thoughts, which is cool. I don't recognize that guy. Shag, Some Kind of Wonderful, Dream Lover, Mulholland Drive, Ellie Parker in Adult World, Ben Stiller, Skelter, directed by Martha Coolidge, Valley Girl, Real Genius, and Rambling Rose. Stories by Ron Cobb. Dark Star, Star Wars from 77 he worked on as a concept artist. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Conan the Barbarian, and teleplays by Ron Cobb and Robin Love, May 21st, 87 also. A survivalist played by Joe Manegda. And his friend John Reese lived in a shelter after a nuclear bomb. Also stars Joan Allen and Danica McKellar. The first guy, Joe I know from Simpsons where he plays Fat Tony, but I think there's another movie I recognize him or TV show, because he's kind of a one-owner, or I could be wrong. Yeah, he played Harry Dobbs in this. I just know it's Fat Tony. Okay, also, who's in Rugrats with Jack Mantello, which is cool. John Grease, he plays Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite, which is cool. Joan Allen, I don't recognize her. Danica McKellar, we know Wonder Years, where she played Winnie Cooper, which is cool. Okay, Time and Teresa Golowitz, directed by Shelley Levinson, based on a short story by Parker Goodwin. Telly's played by Alan Brenner. We saw her in season 1 a lot. Wait, 1 sec, sorry. Here we go. July 10th, 87. A Broadway composer played by Paul Sand accepts an offer from the devil played by Gene Barry. Returns to his high school years to see his crush again, while Larry sees an opportunity for a classmate's suicide. Also there's Grant Hesley and Wallace Langham. Gene Barry. Bat Masterson, which is cool. And Burke's Law, he was also in. Jennifer, oh wait, different one. Yeah. Voices in the Earth, directed by Curtis Harrington, written by Alan Brenner, July 10th, 87 also. People return to the barren Earth to find everything it left. I thought they did. Also, Martin Bennett, Jerry Agutter, which is cool. Song of the Younger World, directed by Noel Black, written by Anthony and Nancy Lawrence, July 17th, 87. In 1915, a girl, played by Jennifer Rubin, a young man, played by Peter Quanko, for boys who fall in love, try to get away from the disapproving father, met superintendent Robert Blossom, also says Paul Benedict. We know Jennifer Rubin as Karen White in Nightmare on Elm Street 3. We tries to fight Freddy. Others I don't recognize. Last episode, we have The Girl I Married, directed by Philip D. Geyer, written by J.M. DeMaffels, July 17, 87. An attorney, played by James Whitmer Jr. By that way, his wife was in the younger years, only two. Kind of a younger version of the present. She's played by Linda Kelsey. I don't recognize this too, but yeah. That's it for season 2. Like I said, the video coming after this on the 15th. We have a Let's Talk Horror, talk with the Mad Magician, and I'm pleased on season 3, part 1, because season 3 consists of 30 episodes, so 15 each. That will be on May 25th. I hope you enjoy and have a great day, and bye-bye.